Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck.
Hello, and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Samantha Cummings, here with my co-host Matilda Swift, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our Mastery Through Missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way, and this week's topic is our 2024 review. Before that though, let's do our wins and whinges of the week. It's been a while since I've said it.
And you put everything into. You've been saving up all the emphasis.
I have.
Yes. Also, it's been multiple weeks. My wins and whinges of the weeks. It's been Christmas, so full on. Many wins, all the wins. I went to Spain with my family for Christmas. It felt lovely. I got a slight whinge about that, but mostly I whinge at myself in that I thought I would write a lot while I was there. That's ludicrous. I don't. I went to relax. I went on purpose to relax and do a lot of intentionally relaxing things. So just having long days of long meals with my family, taking walks, enjoying the sunshine, went to a spa. And somehow I had thought that I would also want to get up really early and write. And I think I'm just trying to, this year, definitely focus on being more forgiving towards I cannot both be relaxed and hardworking. I need to segment those two things. So a bit of whinge in that. And then my actual whinge is related to relaxing in that for the second time in 2024, a day or two into a holiday, I relaxed so much I gave myself a migraine from relaxing. And I really feel like that is some sort of universe level punishment for relaxing that I do not deserve, and I think should be illegal.
I think you just don't realise that you get travel migraines.
No, I don't get travel migraines.
Are you
because
sure?
because I often, if I travel, so I traveled at the end of last year, and it was a really short, intense trip. I've traveled a lot in my life, but this is specific holidays where I've gone to relax. I've gone and instantly done nothing. The drop in cortisol is just my body is just that's it. You must die.
Yeah.
So what I either need to do is just remain more stressed on holiday, or maybe just relax in my regular life a bit more.
Yeah.
Don't know which one's going to be, but we'll see.
Yeah, I had a similar thing over New Year where I let myself relax too much and I got the New Year's cold. So for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and basically up until yesterday or the day before, I was just really not feeling great, and that was horrible. But I just I took it like a champ. I didn't complain too much.
So yeah, I'll believe that.
Yeah, just drank a lot of tea. But other than that, that's not my actual whinge, because like I said, took it like a champ. I'm not going to whinge about it.
Who'd whinge about being ill?
It's my
Not you.
own fault. I had a fantastic Christmas, so my win is that I loved Christmas and New Year, and I've really started off this year with so much energy and excitement. I've launched my new pen name, which I'll be using later in the year. And also set up some pre-orders for some books this year, and that's been really fun. I really feel like the juices are flowing and I'm moving towards great things. My whinge is that, like you, I thought that I would write loads over Christmas, and or edit. I thought I was going to edit loads, but I've really found a knack for procrastination. Or I know that I'm great at procrastinating, but I have leaned into it a little too much. And
well, is it too much? Maybe it's just the right amount, and we need to get better at scheduling relaxation time. Because I had scheduled relaxation time over the holidays, and then procrastinated into my relaxation time. And I just need to get better at being hard and fast about it, and just saying those 2 weeks, they're not optional work weeks. They are weeks in which I must work, so I should procrastinate less.
Yeah. I definitely did procrastinate today when I thought I'd have the whole day to edit, and instead I spent an hour on. We've got a virtual reality headset which we've just broken out over Christmas again, because we got it a couple of years ago. So every morning this weekend I spent an hour in VR, which I could have been editing.
Earlier you want to do more exercise, but you've got a VR set. You could be doing VR exercise. You could be fighting monsters.
And I did fight a few monsters, but I was mostly like in a trampoline park, and
That sounds like exercise.
it's insane. But so that even though I love doing that, I felt like I could have done half of that and started editing a lot sooner. But it's fine. I'm still in New Year mode. The year hasn't officially started. Tomorrow is the start of the year.
Yeah, it's like the first full work week here in the UK. Which I think is just going to hit me like a truck. I was in my day job work a couple of days last week, and it felt like a year. It felt like I'd worked for a year in 2 days. It's a lot.
Last year was the longest week of my life. Last week was the longest week of my life. Last year felt like the longest year of my life.
I think last week felt like the longest year of my life, just to add to the complexity. It's just like, gosh, it felt so long.
Yeah.
But yes, I think I'm glad I've got some holidays booked in for this year. I've got a writing retreat in May that's going to be in Greece. I've got I'm going to SBS in SBS Live conference when I was going in summer. June, July. I forgot when that is now.
It's June.
One of those. Okay, it's June. I think I always forget because I always go on holiday around it as well. So I'm always away like the end of June, start of July. So I need to book another trip around that as well. So yeah, I think I am feeling optimistic about the year to come, but that is not what we're here for. We have been reviewing our quarters each year or each few months, and now it's time to do our end of year 2024 review. I just to really boast, because I never do this, I have prepared a full page of notes. Just going to hold them up to the camera, a full page of notes, and I feel very superior because Sam has not, and I am just for today more prepared.
Usually I'm the person that like I'll write out loads of bullet points of the things that we need to talk about so I stay on track. And today I just decided I'm going to wing it. I have done like 6 bullet points. So I'm just going to bounce off you. I'm just going to let you take the lead and I'll just chip in here and there.
But I have also, because I've been doing a lot of traveling, and also I always do, have listened to a lot of podcasts. So I've listened to some really good end of year ones. In fact, I listened to Joanna Penn's twice because I listened to it a couple days ago, a week ago, something like that. She has a 2024 end and 2025 plan one, which I think is really a good way to do it. But then I listened to it again today just to check, could I get some ideas for this? Could I sneak some ideas from her? So that was a good one. I've listened to the Spa Girls had one, and some other people who are not necessarily writing related, but I really like a 2024 or an end of year wrap up. I think it's even just doing it for yourself. My brother this year on the way home from his holiday or on a train somewhere, coming back from Spain, he just wrote a list of like his 2024 highlights, wrote one a month, one for each day, each month of the year. I was like, oh, what a lovely like way to remember your year. So delightful. But I have not done ours that way. I'm just gonna make a quick note because I will put in the links to the end of year wrap-ups that I listened to. And I also looked to see, because the one that I really like is Sacha Black's Rebel Author wrap-up, but she in fact does it in June, or even early July. It's her like anniversary of being a full-time author, because we had talked a little bit about should we do a money episode and talk about that side of our businesses, but I think for us at the moment, like what we're doing is more active based rather than talking about the money. And I think we could do then 2 wrap-ups a year at some point in the future of here's our calendar year and it's also the end of our podcasting year of our wrap-up of like what we've done kind of tried and business wise, just a way to review it. And then subsequently when we are raking in the big bucks, we'll do like a financial review at the time that's kind of our going full-time review. So this is not about finance goals necessarily this week. It's mostly about just a good way to reflect on like what we've done and how impactful it has been. So it was really nice to write my list, my long, well-prepared list. Let's show that bit of paper. Anyone can't hear that? Oh, thick organisation.
Yes, what a list. Basically a scroll.
Yeah. I'll just lift up the tome that I've written this in. It was really nice to write and also to really force myself to like reflect back and feel proud of myself. So I would just advise everybody to write out this. I've got terrible memory, so I always forget what I've done and then I have to write something like this down. And I'm sure as we do it, you'll remind me of other things I've done because I've probably forgotten really major things. So I started with just like the things that came to mind first, and I was really glad that it was the things that I have really worked on. So habits and mindset were the things that just came up top. So in terms of working on habits, I'm still working on it. I still really feel like I find it easy to let them slip. But I have now, I think, found a system that really works for me. So I have a planner that I put all my kind of day-to-day business stuff in, and we've now got the same style planner where it's very goal focused, and you review each week and you set yourself a focus for the week, which when I first saw it last year and you'd picked it, I thought that's a bit woo-woo for me. That's too woo. But I love it.
Come over to the woo-woo side.
Yeah, it's really good. I really like the so it's from Plum Paper, and they do different layouts, and this one you get like a monthly goal focus, and you're thinking about like what's your month goal, how do you break that down, and then each week you get your week goals and break that down. I'm loving it. But it does also have kind of woo things in there. My favorite act of kindness this week. I'm looking forward to filling that in. So yeah, I think I've got my planner. I've got different ways of tracking things. So I have like a day-to-day habits that I just want to say, in an ideal day, I'll get all these things done. And it's things like morning pages, yoga, take a walk, a social media post. It's like things that I want to make daily tasks. And then I have 2 different week planners on my fridge. These are on my fridge. 2 different week charts. And one is chores for my house, like clean the floors, change the beds. And one is chores for my business, such as edit this podcast, send my newsletter, prep the image of my newsletter, reply to emails. I feel much more secure in those. I've definitely over Christmas had weeks where I got out of sync with them and stopped following as much, but they're there, they're on my fridge. It's been easy to get back into them. So I feel like that was maybe the biggest change in my 2024, was feeling like I was able to take charge of that. And then the absolute biggest change that when I reflect on this, it felt so dramatic, was mindset. And I didn't write anything down at the beginning of the year, but had I written something down at the beginning of the year about my books, I would have thought my books are only okay, and I'm really just trying my best, and I don't know if they're any good, and I feel really bad that I don't know what to do with them, and I'm lying when I say that I think they're ever going to make any money. I'm lying to myself, I'm pretending, and I would have sounded so down. And I feel 100% the opposite. I feel like my books are really good, they are worth reading, they're worth me putting money into. I don't feel like the same level of confidence every day in them. There's days where I feel like, oh, is this right? Is this going well? But even if the books that I write right now aren't books that are going to necessarily make huge amounts of money, I feel so confident in my understanding of like my writing and the writing business now that I don't feel an uncertainty anymore. And that feels so different. And really the only way we've got to that is just by having really regular conversations about it, like talking about it all the time, thinking about it all the time, and changing my mindset. And changing mindset is the key to everything else. It's the key to saying I want to invest in ads. It's the key to talking out loud about your books. It's the key to putting a big effort into them. Just like, it's everything. And I'm so glad that I spent a big chunk of this year on that. And that for me, those are the 2 like headline things. I've broken the rest of my things down into subtopics, but those are my big headlines. And I also wanted to reflect on, I had a word of the year last year, which I feel like maybe we stole this as Spark Girls, because I also have a word of the year, but maybe we're just...
I've seen quite a lot of people talking about this recently. I'm like,
it's a thing.
I've never heard anybody else
the Black Heron, they had their word of the year, and maybe if it's not us, we had a word of the year last year. Anyway, so my word of the year last year was conquer, but like conquer the thing from nature, which I think might only be an English thing, and maybe doesn't give it. It's a horse chestnut, type of plant, which is like hard and spiky and solid, but also you can play games with it, and it's fun for kids. So I was like, that really captures kind of who I want to be this year, but also conquer, like I'm a conquering hero.
Yes.
So that's my word last year, which was fantastic. And this year, my word is bloom, which I feel phenomenal about. And also is Rachel Heron's word. She's stealing everything from me, that girl. I mean, that's fine. I love her. I love the podcast, Black Heron. I love Rachel Heron's other podcasts as well. So fine, and I'm in sync. So what were your headline things?
I think that similar to you, it's like using the planner. I've never been a planner girly. I've always had planners. People buy them for me. I don't know what they're trying to say. Every year someone buys me a planner. I'm like, oh yeah, great. Put it on the bookshelf. I'm never using it. But last year was the first year where I used it, and I basically used it every day and planned something every day. And so 2024 was definitely the first year of my life where I felt like I was in control of everything and I knew exactly what I was doing. So I really feel like I benefited from what I've put. Constant dedication is what I've written down. It really helped me stay on track and feel like I wasn't just flailing around, just like following whims. I was, every week I basically wrote out like the next week's plan at the start of the week. So it all felt really nice and was not as like difficult as I thought it was going to be. I tend to drop those sorts of things off because it's too much work, and it wasn't too much work. And that's a really nice realization to see that I've grown as a person, and I'm not just a flailing tornado of arms and legs tearing through like the desert like Tasmanian devil. So that's like one of my biggest things, I think, is just feeling like I get it now. I feel like I get it. And I feel like I've professionalized myself as a business, and I also have just found who I am or who I want to be and my voice. And it took the whole year for me to kind of realize what I want my brand to look like, because we started at the start of 2024. We had like a thing where we did presentations to each other about brand and what we wanted to be known as.
And I feel like we've come so far since then. It's I love being able to look back on that.
So far, but I would never have landed where I landed without that session. And now that I have, it took me the year to settle into it, but I feel like I have figured it out, and I know who I am. So that's like my biggest thing, is feeling like my headline things are feeling more professional, realizing that I can be consistent and it pays off, and feeling like that's like, it's made me a better person. I know who I am. Everything feels easier, she says.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Or feels like your effort is going somewhere. I think I feel like I'm working harder than ever, but I don't feel flaily.
Yes.
I listened to, just for this, I listened to a really good episode of the Quickcast by Becca Syme that was called something like Question the Premise of You Should Write to Market. And I thought it would be about the concept, but actually it was such a good elucidation of these are the 7 skills that people have who are naturally good at writing to market. When I listened to that episode, I felt so much more like I really understood and could digest what Becca was talking about in a way that I could see, oh, you know what, actually, I think I don't have these skills naturally. And I think I want to really consider how I want that to impact my writing career. Because I have also, I say this a lot, but I feel like when you hear things multiple times, it's not because it's being said multiple times, it's because it's what you need to hear right then. I have also feel like I've heard a lot of people talking recently about like writing not to market, like writing the book of your heart. And I was like, I really feel like now, not necessarily to change my writing right now or to change my writing career right now, but I now feel like I can see much more about when you want to write to market and when you want to not try and write to market, and how you might make a decision in a way that previously I just wasn't able to see even. And I wasn't making a decision. I was just flailing. And I feel now more like I'm deliberately doing one thing. I might deliberately do another thing later. And I can correctly interpret, or not necessarily correctly, but I feel like I can separate things better, which just feels like such a place of comfort and confidence for me. So if that's the only thing I got out last year, like that would be worth it.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to think about, because I'm the same. The start of the year last year, when we talked to each other quite a lot about what it meant to write to market, and when we were looking at where we currently sat within the market, and really tried to peel back all the layers of our writing careers up to that point, I felt, and this is just probably like a lot of people are like this, but you know when you're told that you're supposed to do something so instantly you don't want to do it, the little rebel in me was like, well, and you know, I don't want to write to market, I want to write the books that I want to write. But more so over the last few months, I would say, I kind of realized I'm very close to writing to market, and it doesn't feel like it would actually be selling my soul to write more to market. And I think that's a mindset thing. I think I've been able to find the space between who I used to be and like the business mind. And I'm now in the middle. I'm now in a nice middle place where I'm like, I know that the old me was just being bratty, and I've got this business mind where I get to make decisions that are a little bit more like, or less emotionally like in control. And I feel like I know where I sit between those two things, and I can decide either way. Like you saying, like I can see the difference, and I feel like I would be able to now decide whether I wanted to write to market or not, rather than feeling like I wasn't writing to market and I didn't want to. Does that make sense? Feels like I just spewed
I
out a
think
load of words.
I think there is. I feel like it's been ages since this podcast that I feel like I've forgotten how to speak words, but hopefully we'll remember how to do it at least by the end of this episode. Yeah, I will link that Becca episode because it was so interesting. I think often I don't think I think the same way as Becca Syme. So I think often when I listen to her podcast, I feel like if I thought more like her, I would get more out of it. I don't think that that's saying that the podcast is not fantastic. I think often when listening to the episode that's like really targeted at me, I was like, oh, I see it now. But I think she's someone who isn't consistently, her podcast isn't one that I always think must listen to that, it's gonna be for me. This episode really felt like, oh, I 100% understand everything you've talked about in this episode in a very like meaningful way. I really appreciate listening to that one. So I will put a link in the show notes. She said she's gonna do one subsequently about like how you write not to market and like what you might be working on towards that. So I think they'd be a useful pair, but this is definitely worth listening to even in isolation. So there was my kind of headline things. I then just wanted to write down like a review of things that I've done because I think that is really helpful to capture and for us to be able to listen back to this episode in the future and review it compared to where we'll be next year, which is I cannot even think about considering what we've done this
Who
year.
knows?
So
On a yacht? Who knows?
yes. This year I think we've deliberately tried to really experiment with things, and rather than just having it feel like I'm flailing around trying things, I think we've tried to experiment. I feel like for me, I still haven't done enough experimentation. I think I'm still at the stage of like a dipping my toe in, and I want to get to the stage of very deliberate professional style experimentation. That's not where I have been at enough with everything consistently. But also, I think you can't do that with everything at the same time. So I think it's fine to have tried lots of different things and now have a sense of which things I want to go further with. Because I really have done a lot. So I've done different ads. I've done BookBub, Amazon, and Facebook ads. I've worked on my newsletter. I've gone from monthly to weekly with that, and tried different formats. One thing I want to do next year, or in fact this year now, 2025, I want to brand it more. I think it could look more professional. I just saw your most recent email about the like new change of branding. I was like, oh gosh, just it's so visually appealing when you open that up straight away. It felt very like
Thank you.
recognizable. It gave you a strong emotional feeling, which I think I don't have in my email. So I was like, that's I think I want to work on. And also would be easy for me and worth the time. And again, nice to be able to recognize that. I've done a bit of messing around with social media. Not a huge amount, don't love spending time on it, but towards the end of the year I did a good chunk of time on TikTok. Deliberately just to use it to see how it worked and also to force myself to distill down the hooks of my series, because you really have to do that on TikTok. And that was really useful to do, and I think I'll apply that to ads in future. I've prepped new books for a rapid release, which is a new strategy for me. I'm prepping a new art process for it. I've gone about the cover research in a better way, I think. I am building up this ARC team that I'm going to be, that's my goal focus next week, by the way, is to finalize things in my ARC team. I've had 2 different book bubs this year. I have done Amazon affiliates accounts with my newsletter, and I've also just done a lot in terms of accountability and different ways to build up accountability. So we've got this, I've got my planner, we've got other WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups that I'm in that I use in very specific ways, and I've got some Discord groups, and one other thing that I just invested in yesterday that isn't necessarily accountability, is more productivity, but kind of in my mind it feels the same way of like I am paying for something that I think I need that's going to keep me accountable. Is I have gone for a paid account for the words, that kind of gamified write the monsters thing, because I do find it so compelling. Like I like having a clock that if I don't meet the word goal on a certain clock, a monster will defeat me, and I do not want that to happen. And you get quests, and you can do it in a community, but you don't have to. It feels like very flexible. It feels like it works for me, and the cost of an annual membership was something like £80. So I was like, okay, I'm going to spend that money to be accountable to this as the way I've chosen to be productive. I just sort of like started working in it recently, and I remembered how good it is for me. So that has been fantastic. I've also tried different productivity tools this year as well. So that's my experimentation. looking at your million post-its in front of you, do you think you've got a list of your experiments you did this year?
Um, I don't think the post-its really help with my experiments, but yes, I would say similar to you, definitely experimented more with ads. Like I ran some Facebook ads. I don't feel like I have in any way figured out the best way to run ads, but I do feel like I'm excited to try running different ads and trying different tactics. And it doesn't feel super scary. It just feels like it's going to be a bit of time, dedication to setting up like a better schedule. So I feel like that was a really good experimental thing that I did last year. I also really experimented with different types of marketing on socials, different calls to action that I would never have thought to do previously. So one of the things that I had never really thought about doing before last year was trying to get KU readers to read my books.
Mhm.
I would just always kind of leaned into trying to sell paperbacks, which I know is silly, but it's
that's
because
more for your genre. It's not silly. I think it's closer to your genre, right?
Yeah, and I'm like it's probably my own fault because I am a paperback reader, and I even though I have a Kindle and stuff, I don't always think about my Kindle when I'm buying books. That's like the last thing that I think about, and I've definitely got more into that last year. So I think that that's changed my opinion of readership and like the different people, like the different people that you can target. So obviously there's like people who love paperbacks, and I found those people and I sent paperbacks out to people who really loved them. So that was a really fun marketing thing that I tried out, and I can't wait to do that again this year. Like I'm so excited. I also, like I targeted people with Kindles. I actually found that not a lot of people with Kindles were like super interested. I did quite a few polls on my social media over the year to find out, how do you read books, paperback, Kindle, KU? And nobody really was ticking Kindle, which I thought was surprising. However, there are KU readers out there, and my KU reads have gone up like extortionately. Basically, like I looked at my stats the other day, and it was insane. Like I've had reads every day for the past week on KU. Like it seems mental, and I know that obviously for other people that's normal. That other people see those stats every day, but for me, my stats tended to be like a paperback sold, nothing. A Kindle sold, nothing. So now I'm seeing stats every day. It's nice to know that there are KU readers that I can target more this year. So that's been really helpful to see that they're out there. I just never thought to actually specifically call them out.
Yeah, I think what's especially fascinating is like how long things stay on people's Kindle before they read them. So I had the BookBub on a box set in April. I still see daily page reads from that. And I know it's from that because I never advertised this book. I never promoted this book and I've done nothing to this. It's a box set and I didn't do anything to it ever, except for once put it in this BookBub. And people are still buying or reading through it in January and reading the subsequent books. That I was looking at this earlier. The income from that, I doubled the money I spent, and I did not just the BookBub money I spent, but like the other promotions around it, the Facebook ad I did to warm the book up a bit. I've doubled all that, so very much worth it.
Yeah, it's a fun like little challenge to get people to not just get the book, but then to read the book and see that come through. It's like difficult to see if it's something that that's probably the hardest part. It's difficult to see if it's because they saw something recently or if, like you say, they saw something previously and you don't know what the thing is that worked to get them there. But I enjoy it nonetheless. I also, in terms of trying things out, finally signed up to BookFunnel and really worked on like my whole mailing list thing, which I was begrudgingly
my favorite. I love it.
Yeah, like because you were definitely very into the whole mailing list thing, and I was like very hesitant. Not that I don't like sending emails and doing that, but I just didn't know about BookFunnel and that people did that and like did swaps and promotions. And that's been really fun to learn, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of that this year because I definitely have probably like doubled my mailing list. I still have a lot of work to do on getting people into my mailing list, but it's grown a lot this year. And it's been very fun. And not too many people have unsubscribed, so fingers crossed they stay. Because I think you mentioned, oh yes, you did. You mentioned your kind of little app thing for writing, I discovered sprints last year. Not that I discovered them, but I discovered that sprints work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that really has changed my whole writing process. I haven't yet done sprints for editing, but I feel like I should do that. I think that doing
I never
editing
do sprints
sprints
for
might
editing. I
work.
do sprints for writing a lot, but I never do sprints for editing.
Yeah.
So I think I find myself less
Distracted.
distraction from editing
Yeah.
because writing is objectively quite hard. So like when you hit a stumbling block in writing, you're like, oh, I should go and put the laundry on, or I just remembered I need to go and post that thing, and like your brain instantly fills up with things that would be like useful but easier to do than this. Whereas with editing, it's like I will do a chapter and then I might take a break, and then a chapter and then take a break. I'm less prone to being like, I couldn't possibly continue this. It's so hard. My brain is not the muse has left me. I'm not that bad, but I feel like on my worst days I'm that bad.
Yeah.
And that is why I really like for the words. I like having a monster to be like, you have to fight it, you have to put the words in by this time. And I don't write in the app. It's not an app, it's a website, but like I don't write in it. I write and copy paste into it because I find that more secure and easier, but you can do it that way.
Yeah, and at some point I might give that a try. We'll see how it feels.
The free version is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only paid for it because you can have more months in your queue and you can fight more months a day. So it makes the game better. And I was like, it's a reasonable expense and it will make me use it more if I've paid for it. So I want to pay for that. And also, it's worth it for me. Like they put a lot of effort into it and it is lovely quality.
How much is it per year?
Yeah, so I've paid yearly for there is a high level of membership, but I don't know why you need it. It's $96, so I think it came to like £77 when it came in. Yeah. I would say unless you're doing a lot on it, the free version is fine for a long time, I would say. I went up to the paid one because I'm really trying to blitz a lot of words at the moment, and I want to fight a lot of monsters. And I was trying to complete a quest that needed a lot of the monsters have got different word counts, you need to defeat them, and I need to fight a lot that had a small word count, and so I needed more monsters in a day. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pay for this because actually it's well worth it for me.
You are using that. I never ever thought that you'd actually stick to that. It's so funny because remember when we were
that's the worst
looking
thing about it. I didn't stick to it, and then I like rediscovered it. So I kept the tab open, like I kept the tab pinned in my browser for ages. Part of the reason why I don't always use it is because the way that I write, I do like a very detailed planning draft, which can be like tens of thousands of words, and then I go through and write, and I forget that is like the word counts for that sometimes are really odd because obviously I'm writing words and deleting other words, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't feel like it fits in the app. Actually, it does, and I just had to find the way to make it work for me. I very much like gamified things. So the only time I've ever done Couch at 5K was the Zombies Run one, where you're literally trying to like save your society one sports bra and one tin of like food at a time, and zombies are trying to kill you. So that is how I have run. I really like it. I think if I were going to design it myself, I would make it slightly different for me personally, but I think it has enough features that work for me that I'm really happy with it.
Okay, we'll see how I feel. Finally, on my list of things that I've tried this, as I keep saying this year, last year, can't believe where we are, is Discord. I dipped a toe in Discord previously. I'm in a couple of groups already, and it never seemed like a place that I like kind of leaned towards to hang out or to use it in a particular way. But I have definitely used it more this year with different groups, and then I also set my own Discord up, and it is popping. So cool. Can I just say it's I go in there. I'm really like I'm a bad Discord mum. I said that the other day. Like I'm so sorry, guys, but they are all in there chatting and like using all the little rooms or servers that I've set up, and like cool. It's every day. I'm pretty sure that there's stuff going on. People, like asking questions of each other, getting advice. I've set up a little wins server so people can drop it at the end of the week and say how well they've done, and it's been really nice. And it's just the community, even though I've been really bad at joining the community that I made, but it is a community that I think is really like what I needed, because they all like the way that everyone's chatting, and it just feels like we're all in the same boat, and that is a really nice thing to feel less alone. yeah, I think like that the community element of that has been really, really nice. And I feel very proud of myself for
You should. I
stepping.
mean, that was just like you thought about it one day, and then like a week later, you'd got a Discord. I was like,
Yeah.
that is so proactive. I love it.
Mhm. Yes, that's the one of the benefits of ADHD is have idea, do idea, think of consequences later.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for me, but it worked.
Hmm.
But you know,
Yeah.
it's worked really well. I'm
Hmm.
also really liking being on Discord. I'm in a server that has got a really wide range of people in, and I think I can really imagine how it would be nice to have a smaller, very specific group that knows each other quite well. Um,
Hmm.
I can see how that's something I think I'm missing at the moment. But then I have that in the Cozy Clubhouse group.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and that's one of my headlines. One of the categories on here on my extensive notes is opportunities that have come this year, and one of them is networking.
Hmm.
Um, I think I don't even know necessarily that more network opportunities have come my way. A small number more, but I think in the past I just haven't taken things up. I think I could have had more opportunities that I didn't take up. This year I've really felt enabled to take them up. I think it really, this is why people get married, right? It's nice to be like in a team. It feels nice to be like in a team with you. We're like, oh, I'll tell Sam about that, or I'll find
Yeah.
this out for Sam. Feels
Hmm.
very different to like I'll ask someone a question because I'm too stupid to know it myself. That feels
Hmm.
not great to me. Um, yeah, so it feels like being even part of a two-person team is a big help to opening up other opportunities.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of networking things. The podcast, I mean, that has happened this year, and that's been phenomenal.
Hmm.
Um, and even being able to be on Wish I'd Known Then podcast. We've had people on this podcast that's
Hmm.
helped grow our network. I've done other networking as well. I've been on 2 writing retreats. I've done other hangouts with authors. I went to a great Christmas party organised by some cozy authors in York. And yeah, and like those people now I can just all those people that I network with, I can talk to more and ask questions of more, and have brought opportunities my way, which just feels like could not have imagined that in 2023. Feels phenomenal.
Hmm.
Um, I've got one more category. Have you got anything else in the opportunities category?
No, I think similar. I think this podcast has opened doors that we maybe don't even know are open yet. It
Yeah,
feels like that. I feel like even though like I've done maybe a few things that it's like spoken to more people that I wouldn't have spoken to previously. I feel like because of the podcast and maybe just the way that doing this podcast has made me come out of my shell a bit more in terms of being a writer, I have made far more connections thanks to what we've been doing. But I do think that more is to come. I have that feeling.
yeah.
Like
I think a lot more is to come,
yeah.
which we will definitely be talking about a bit next week. We'll
Hmm.
be pushing on to that next week. But yes, more is to come, very excitingly. My other category that I've got on here is just life, because I think it's nice to recognise stuff that you do outside of that. And that is a bit I've stolen from Joanna Penn from her end of year wrap up, is she just talked about what are nice things happening in life. So I got my cats this year. I've been on holidays so relaxing they gave me migraines. I have worked on my health this year. I want to work on that more next year. I have really recognized the limitations of my bandwidth and really trying to focus on where I want to spend my energy, and knowing that I do not just have limitless energy and infinite time, and it is not a failing if I cannot make infinite things happen. Time is finite. Um, One thing I think I wanted to recognize that's maybe negative this year is I feel like I have maybe been so focused on making this one thing work, making my writing business work, that I have definitely neglected some of my friendships in a way that I don't love. And I even friendships where like I've got friends, a lot of friends who live in other parts of the world, and often our friendships are just like via messaging. Even those I feel like I don't reach out as much. I don't know if that's just because I have kind of tightened down my focus, or maybe I'm just not doing enough that's like filling my well and giving me things to chit chat about. Because I feel like, friends of mine who are like, I've got an ex-work colleague in Hong Kong who is a great friend, um, but probably doesn't want to hear the ins and outs of like my business progress this week. And if that's all I've been doing, then what else am I going to say to him? So I do want to recognize that I think I need to be consciously doing some more things outside of writing, and the writing business. And I'm going to think
Yeah.
about that in 2025.
Yeah. I feel that 1000%. I thought that last year was going to be a better year for me in terms of being a better friend, because I'm the same. Like you come home from work and you write, and I live with my boyfriend, so I get a lot of my social requirements met every day. So
yeah, but he's imaginary.
he
That
is also
can't work
imaginary.
well.
and I really get on with my work colleagues incredibly well. You know, we've got a WhatsApp group chat. It's we talk constantly. So I have a lot of my social requirements filled by my work colleagues and my boyfriend and my family as well. We're very, very, very close family. The only other thing then that I spend my time on is writing books and thinking about this whole thing, and it does make me single-mindedly focus on something, and I love that. But I know that my vision of myself in the future is as a person who has a balanced life, and I don't have a balanced life, and that is something like I really want to see my friends more. Not even just see them more, text them more. Even that, it would be a nice thing for me to do. I really want to work out more. I really haven't worked out at all over the last year, even though I love it. Yeah, just little bits like that where you just feel like if I was thinking about my dream life, I would do it all and it wouldn't feel bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do think maybe this is the year in which we need to be working more towards a specific vision for our lives rather than trying to fit in everything right now. And that's tricky, right? Because we're trying to say, because my dream life would not involve my day jobs, but I have to still do that.
Yes. Yeah.
But you know, insanely, I only do that 30 hours a week. I do it 30 hours a week and I work at home, so I have no extra commute time. You know, I don't even have to do meal prep because I just have to go downstairs to my kitchen. But it feels like it absorbs a lot of my energy. And that's just because I'm so hardworking and good at my job. But you know, I can't not do that. But yes, but I do think I really want to be finding a way to put more creative input in myself. Like that's what you get from friends, right? Who are not in the writing world. That's the danger of having too many of your network, or too much of your networking rather than friendship building. I really struggled with that in the pandemic with like not having enough filling in my creative well, and I found it very hard to write. And I'm very conscious and wary of that happening. I have in the past, you know, I've done the artist way, and I think the idea of artist dates are really good, but there's only so many artist dates that come out of your own head because you do the things you want to do all the time. So I think I need to find more ways to bring like surprise and creative interest into my life in a way that's not like I like my roller skating club, but I do that every week. Yes, but I hate spontaneity. So it's my least favorite thing ever.
I love the idea of it, but I also am the sort of person that's like, if somebody like suggests doing something that's outside of the schedule that I've got, I instantly like react very negatively, especially if my family member says it. I say like, I'm busy. Like,
I feel like it's rude. Yeah,
you can't say, oh, my family are this is the worst thing between me and my siblings and my parents is that they're all quite spontaneous, and they'll all say, they'll send a message on the day saying, let's have dinner together.
Illegal.
And like, do you want to come around? My brother's terrible for this. Do you want to come around for dinner tonight? Like, I haven't spoken to you for 2 months, and you're going to text me and ask me around tonight on the day. So this is a source of contention between my family is that they all think that you should just drop everything, and I'm like,
and even if I've got plans, just like sit and read a book by myself, like that is my plan. I have planned that.
I always tell them like, you need to give me, and they have joked about this a lot recently. I say you need to give me 24 hours notice.
I mean, I would say like 3 to 5 business days.
They have all mentioned that at least once over Christmas.
I think I feel fortunate. My family are also quite spontaneous hangouters, but I live far enough away and don't drive a car that there is no way they would invite me to like, oh, do you want to come for dinner tonight? No, of course not. I don't live near enough.
Apart from my sister who lives in Australia, everyone else basically lives on my doorstep. So it's really bad.
It is not for me.
But I do want to work on it. I want to be spontaneous. I think that it's something I heard somebody say recently. I don't know where I heard this, on a TV show probably, and that I don't know what the actual phrase was, but it was something about you can only expand your comfort zone by going out of your comfort zone. And I feel like
I don't want to go out of my comfort zone.
I know.
It's uncomfortable.
I feel like I really want to expand my comfort zone. And the only way to do that is to be more uncomfortable for a while.
Yeah. Let's make that our like side quest for 2025 is to expand our comfort zones. Yeah. I mean, you're doing it this year, right? You're going to SPS Live. That is
oh my goodness.
Already.
I've done loads. I've done loads of stuff, and even I'm such an indoor cat. It's terrible. But even just going to our monthly meetups in Manchester has been like a whole new adventure for me. Get on the train on my own, go to the city that I've grown up in like my whole life.
Again, I'm just going to reiterate to everyone, she's not a child. I don't have a podcast with a child co-host.
I
She's
just
only 40.
I never had, and I have been over the last like 5 to 10 years, started taking myself out for coffee dates and stuff, and I've gone really good at doing that. But yeah, getting the train somewhere on my own last year, in 2024, was a huge deal for me. And it's not that it's scary, it's just that I tend to follow other people around and don't look where I'm going. So 2024 definitely was me figuring out how to maneuver around in the world without just following other people. So I am feeling like I'm going to smash it this year.
Yeah, I think we both are. I feel 100% like we have set ourselves up for success. We've both already got pre-orders up for this year. Multiple pre-orders? Have you got multiple as well?
I've got 2, yep.
Yeah, I have got 3 and at least 2 other books planned for this year. Minimum, that'll take me to the middle of the year.
I've got potential 2 other products. I'm going to say products rather than books.
Okay. Also,
just to be
yeah,
fancy.
You put your newsletter out. I know everyone said this, but the temporary cover you've got for your new book looks so good. You should make it the real cover.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to everyone. I did a temporary cover in Canva. It took me 5
it's too beautiful.
To be fair, I have, over the last year or so, I have done multiple covers for this book just for myself. Like every now and again, I'm like, oh, I'll make a cover for this book to see how I feel. And this was no different. I made a random cover to see how I felt. And I smashed it on as the pre-order cover, and everyone has commented saying, "Oh my god, I love the cover of this book." And so my cover designer is messaged me saying, "Do you just want me to do something like this?" And I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't the plan, but maybe.
I think look at genre expectation, because I feel like I am not a reader in a genre. Have a look at the comp covers, but it was nice. Like I feel like I need to up my temporary cover game, because mine is just it's just like a brown background.
I mean, my other one is just a black background. It was just this one specifically because it was my new publishing pen name. So I thought, well, I'll just smash a little cover on here for fun. Apologies
we can talk about your pen name.
I feel like we teased that, and then we have teased it. Okay, so this is the end of the podcast. So apologies if you've listened to this. This is your reward. Is that I decided at the start of last year that I was going to stop using my pen name Frances June, because it was used. I used it because I didn't want anyone to know I was writing, and obviously that's dumb and no longer necessary. Cats at the back. I tell everybody that I'm writing books. It's everywhere. So I really wanted to use my actual name, but it's somebody else is publishing random stuff on Amazon under my actual name, which is just Samantha Cummings. So it's not. I'm not trying to hide myself at all. And so I wanted to come up with something that was as close to my actual name as possible, but a little bit different. And so we brainstormed. And it's, drum roll please, Samantha B. Cummings.
Love it. Which I feel like, it's also Samantha B. Cummings.
The Cummings, exactly. Because the difficult thing is I couldn't just do my first initial and my surname, because that is a word that nobody wants, and unfortunately it is one of the nicknames that I have with a select group of friends, which bore a whole online persona. All of my socials were in this nickname, and
even a fortunate surname really doesn't go. It's not doing any favours.
It's strange that I've not had that many problems with it up until I was in my mid-20s, and all of a sudden someone realised. It took that long. It took to my mid-20s for someone to realise that they could call me Scummings, and thus I was nicknamed Scumbag, and people call me Scumbag still to this day. I threw it.
It's not your author name.
Yeah. So I threw a middle initial in. I didn't want to throw my actual middle initial in because my middle initial is F for Foxtrot. It's Frances June. Because SF sounds like sci-fi. It's just, you wouldn't think that there was this much planning that goes into a name. So we brainstormed together some different middle initials, and we thought that the B sounded better because it sounds like B. Cummings. So that's the explanation. Both of my sisters messaged me saying why B? And I was like, one of my sisters asked what the B stands for, to which I replied, with
Is that their middle name?
with a swear.
I like that. That should be your. Yeah, that should be the answer.
Yeah. I think every time somebody asks me, I'll just say a different random word.
Yeah.
Boris.
I'm trying to think what I would imagine it might be. Beryl.
Beryl.
Yeah.
Belinda. Samantha Belinda Cummings.
Oh no. I think because Frances is quite of a mature lady's name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like this year we got the podcast after a real rambly start. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Before I get into speculating more about your imaginary middle name.
Yeah.
It could be Brian.
Well, I did think that. Yeah, that's my boyfriend's name is Brian, and I did think. I actually told him that was the reason why. I was like, Samantha Brian Cummings. I have named myself after you. But yeah, I didn't say that to my sister. I gave her the accurate response that you're supposed to give your sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Very, very exciting.
I think we hopefully remembered how to do this podcast, and we're rolling now into 2025 fully.
Yes. My podcasting muscle has been stretched.
Yeah.
So next week we will be recording physically together in the same room with. We'll see if this is good with the same mic. Who knows how that will work? For the first time ever. Obviously, we know each other in real life, but we have never recorded together.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. And we're going to be doing an episode called Breaking into Act 2. What does this mean?
Dun, dun. Well, I don't want to give too much away because we're going to talk in detail about it next week, I think. I can't talk about the concept of our Act 2. But I think we both live so much in fiction that we wanted to conceive of our actual podcasting lives as like having a narrative arc. So it's just us recognizing, and we'll talk more about kind of what it means to us and how we're thinking about it. What the next year is going to be a next stage for us, and how we want to maybe change our approach to both the podcast and to our writing lives as a way to kind of recognize that and also take advantage of it and try and manipulate our lives as if we are both the authors and the protagonists in it.
Yes, I feel like it's almost like, have you seen that film Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell and Emma
No, because I really
Thompson?
Maggie
Gyllenhaal?
I don't know, but I find Will Ferrell quite a Marmitey, and like I like him as Alf, but not always.
I have to say, Stranger Than Fiction is a fantastic film.
Okay.
And this isn't what this podcast is about, but to explain what I mean, it's because he is the protagonist of his life, but he hears somebody narrating his life. And
like I see bits of it.
All bleed into each other. It's very fun. That's how I feel like that's what we're going into this year with. Like, we're going to be narrating our own lives. That's
we're going to
Act
be
2,
Will
baby.
Ferrell.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I'm here for it.
Yes, me too. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope that you all had a great Christmas and New Year, and you are all absolutely thrilled and excited for the year that is coming up. Don't forget to like this anywhere that you are online that you see it. Share it with your friends and family. Share it with your pets. Share it with your enemies and your neighbours.
Maybe some other writers, if you know any.
Share it with writers. Hey, why not? Yeah, if you want to. Yes, and leave us a review, whatever you want, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.